Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. We got all your latest Peter Molyneux news, and sometimes we talk about games. And I'm joined here by Tony.
Hey, that's me.
And let's get on with what we've been talking about and playing this week. So, do you want to start, Tony? Because you're probably briefer than me, because I've got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, I'm pretty brief. Well, again, still existed. No,
you still exist.
I still exist. I checked. I'm alive. I'm addicted to Space Engineer still. But I think Guild
horribly broken space game, much like No Man's Sky.
It's not okay. In what way is it broken at the moment? Then I think it's been fixed quite a lot.
Well, last time I played it, when you convinced me to buy the game, it was
yeah, I baited you.
Broken. So
no,
tell me about some of the changes. Like, are planets good yet? Or are they still pretty shit?
Right, they've done a lot of optimization. Last update they just added like a new sound system, so they've got your realistic sound that you want from space. You can't hear anything unless you're touching it. In space, and then in atmospheres it's normal, and your helmet on it's muffled, and in distance it's muffled, so that's good. You got your realism in space. But yeah, they've done a lot of optimization so you can have more ships on the screen before it lags out, and so it's kind of the same for they've done the same thing for planets and asteroids, so their voxels don't lag out as much when you're mining it and near it. It's still laggy on a planet without.
What are you
with
building,
a ship on a planet? You're about 40 FPS. With 3 big ships, you're down to about 25.
25 FPS sounds like a cinematic experience.
Yeah, exactly. It's no more than the order 18-something 6. 18.
Yeah, that classic game that everyone remembers because it was such a good cutscene.
18 some. Yeah, that one. It's better than that by 1 FPS with 3 ships on the planet. But I'm building at the moment on a creative world in space. I've got quite a few ships on that, and it's still running about 30. With 1 ship, it's about 80. So I think it's a lot more optimized. So it's getting better. It's getting better.
So, would you recommend people to buy Space Engineers right now, or would you wait? Is it still in early access? By the way?
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely early access.
Have you actually? We can talk about this because did you see that Ark Survival Evolved got paid DLC before it's out of early access?
Wait, what? No, I did not see that.
They just I just remembered this now because I read this yesterday, but people are really pissed off with Ark because they just released a paid DLC while the game's still in early access for a full-on DLC expansion of like £15.
I think Steam should disallow that in early access, though. I honestly don't think that should be allowed.
Well,
technically, they're saying it's not a full game yet, and they're adding stuff to the game.
Well, a lot of games these days, they'll just be in beta or they'll be in early access for as long as they can to just avoid any criticism for bugs and that sort of thing.
That's what I mean. So if you make it so they can't have DLC at the same time, then it kind of negates this cheating the system for reviews.
Well, I thought... Because I think a lot of people are being pissed off because the game does have a lot of bugs and optimization issues. I actually refunded the game because of how much optimization and bug issues I was having with the game when I got it originally. I think it's better from what I can see from people I watch who I sometimes play it and I sometimes watch them play it, but it's still buggy as far as I can tell. Yeah. But I think it's just the crux of like survival games these days, stuck in early access, completely buggy. No, like, real incentive to ever come out of early access.
What Toby is also saying is that people, because like people really want this genre, it's like what do you call it? Like a desperation genre. People have a lot of expectations, and there's lots of systems you want in it, and so it's really hard to get right because there's so many things going on in the game.
Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of those things, you know. Probably still a better survival game than No Man's Sky.
I think that's definitely true. I think people still quite like Ark. People still playing it to this day. So
yeah, I know one of our friends.
You know, there's the big like nomad people like moving from game to game. I think that's more stable now.
Yeah, I just want to see how that's going to go. I think. Have you ever heard of another game releasing DLC before it leaves early access?
No, never.
Other than like microtransactions, because I think they started with like having microtransactions in the game before the game was even released.
I'm fine with microtransactions because you can kind of say you're beta testing it and you want to support the game and things.
Yeah, because
that's fine.
Because like Hearthstone had this thing where you could buy packs in the beta, like the closed beta and the open beta.
It's still a bit iffy.
They gave you like a golden Gelbin Mechatol for like testing the store basically because they needed to have like real interactions with people, giving them money and stuff to beta test that.
But that's still a bit iffy because there's a point that you can claim that they're not doing the testing anymore. They're just trying to get money out of people.
Hearthstone was in beta for well over a year.
Yeah.
That game was in beta a very long time, and kind of like Blizzard were kind of like, it's a free-to-play game, so let's just keep it in beta, avoid a bit of criticism, but it did turn out to be a pretty good game in my eyes. Full of RNG, of course, but...
yeah, obviously the updates after release ruined it, not the ones before release. It's funny that.
Ruined Hearthstone? I don't think the game's...
Well, no, for me it's ruined. I never played it, but I had intention to play it, and now I don't.
You don't have any intent... I think there's still a lot of value in learning the game and playing it. I don't think it's completely...
I just don't want to play it in its current state.
Really?
No.
I think the solo adventures are still pretty fun.
Yeah, I'll have to try it out then.
I think...
You've convinced me. Well done.
Okay, that was easy.
Yeah, so it's okay. Yeah, done.
But yeah, recently the One Night in Karazhan expansion came out, so I've been playing through that. The final wing actually came out as recording like a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay.
I've played the first 3 wings. I'm still saving up like 200 gold. So as of Blackrock Mountain, I did buy packs during the beta, like the classic packs, and during GBG. But from then on, I've been free to play, and I've actually been able to maintain like a good collection of cards, and been able to buy every expansion just through gold and free to play.
You kind of had like a leg up for real money. Then you've kind of been free to play for the rest of it.
I think it is actually a good idea to just buy a base set with real money.
Yeah.
Like pay as much as you would for like the actual game.
Yeah.
And then just from there, you can play free to play to actually get a competitive.
So our friend Michael did it like free to play all the way and had a really slow time.
He refuses to spend any money in the game, which is fine. You know, I do that a lot of the time. I'll just play completely free to play on a free to play game, but I don't know. It would help slightly. It's just the way free to play games are designed. They're designed to be that way because they want people to play.
But if you like the game, why not pay how much you pay for a normal game?
The thing is, I found that I've been free to play for like 4 or 5 expansions now, and it actually makes me want to play the game. Like, so like Andy, you've been on the podcast. He'll just buy an expansion. He'll have all the cards, and then he just won't play for like a month. I've noticed that
he plays for like the first week, and then he never touches it until the next one.
So what I do is I log on every day to do my daily quest because I want the gold to actually like get the cards and get the expansions. I find this makes me actually play the game more. And I like playing Hearthstone sometimes, so yeah, I'm completely fine with that. But I wasn't gonna talk about Hearthstone. I just got really distracted when I talked about Ark. Went on another tangerine, one of my famous.
Well, as long as I don't talk about Overwatch, we're fine.
Yeah, well, apparently we're gonna have an Overwatch only podcast at some point, but I don't remember saying anything about that.
I remember having my I should have done a Crichton and said sarcastic mode. Yes, we're gonna have an Overwatch podcast.
If Martin or Scorn Retorts are listening, our 2 viewers, if you go back and listen to say if we ever actually said we were going to have an Overwatch only podcast, because apparently I promised Daniel that was going to be true.
Well, I think I jokingly said it, but it wasn't in any serious way.
Really? Yeah, I think we were just like, we're going to have an Overwatch only podcast.
Yeah, it's like we got a half an hour through the episode, and I just went, next time we're going to have a full Overwatch episode. Blimey.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been playing the new WoW expansion this week because it just came out like literally a couple of days ago, 30th of August, and it is actually really good. One of the best expansions I've played in a really long time. Like the quests are really fun, and I really like the content.
From what I've heard, it sounds really fun. Obviously not played it myself, but
yeah. Well,
it sounds really fun.
You're always someone who's like, I like Blizzard games, but I don't want to play them really, because I'd have to spend time on them.
I follow Blizzard, but I don't actually play their games.
I played like StarCraft, and that's about it.
Yeah, not even that much though. I watched more StarCraft than I've played.
Well, I think you'd really enjoy most of Blizzard's games.
No, I do, but it's not... The way they've designed them is not for me, though. The way I play games.
Yeah, a lot. The way that they're designed are like Diablo, WoW, and Hearthstone. They're designed to be time sinks.
Yeah, so. It's not how I play games. I just want to jump on and then like have an end goal and make it a bit like long and things, but not the way they've done it. They kind of make it long.
WoW has a lot of like mini goals at the moment. So at the what they've added in Legion is the artifacts. So the artifacts are kind of your legendary weapons. These are like fabled weapons. Like you can get Thrall's Doomhammer for, I think it's Enhancement Shaman gets that because they use weapons. The Paladin Retribution gets the Ashbringer, which is this, legendary fabled weapon of Uther. And then some of the classes have some other like artifact weapons. Like I don't think all the weapons in WoW are that well known. Like they actually added a couple. I was playing a Feldred and I've never heard of the Fangs of Ashmain. Like maybe it's been in the lore. I'm not that too deep in the Warcraft lore.
You're in too deep.
I actually do watch lore videos. Noble. He's a good lore guy. I do watch some of them.
Yeah,
but I'm just general lore, not too deep into individual weapons and that sort of stuff. But I feel like some of the weapons are oh yeah, I can finally wield the Ashbringer. People are going to be oh, I've been wanting to do that for years, and then some of them are oh, this is the Fire Mage artifact. It's some.
What if it looks really cool? We've never heard of it though. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's what they kind of are. Some of them, I feel like they're really cool weapons, but they're not legendary fabled weapons that I've been hearing about for years. Because I'm the kind of person who just grew up in the WoW generation of you accept quests, you go to the objective and you do them. You just don't read the quest logs. Sometimes I do. There's one of the best things with the new WoW expansion is that there's a lot more voice dialogue, and there's a lot more because a lot of the lore was hidden behind quest logs and reading things, but now they've really stepped it up as cinematics. Blizzard's always had fantastic cinematic team. I haven't seen the WoW movie yet. I'm really excited. Well, okay, I'll temper my
excitement. There.
I'm not sure.
Hype police.
Because I've had so many mixed reviews about the WoW movie. Some people say, "Oh, it's fantastic." Some people say, "It's not that great." I want to see it for myself, but I don't see why that couldn't have been a cutscene film. They have such a fantastic animation team. Why couldn't that have been animated? I've showed Toby I can't remember what they're called.
The lore things for Legion.
Yeah, the lore things for Legion.
They're really good. They're fantastic.
I'm trying to remember what the series is called. I think Harbingers. I think it was called, where they're just these drawn kind of.
It's stop motion-y.
Yeah.
It's not stop motion because it's actual drawing slides in a way. It's the way they've got it, the style they've gone for, which is quite nice.
It's really good looking. You had one about Gul'dan. There's some about the Demon Hunters and that sort of stuff. And it was really. Oh, there's one about Medivh as well, and Khadgar going back to the Karazhan and finding Medivh and trying tempted by this Dreadlord. But they're really interesting. I think basically the point I'm trying to make is that Blizzard just made amazing cutscenes for years. I remember back in 2004 when Warcraft 3 came out and I played that. Actually, funny story, the first time I played Warcraft 3 I played it in Dutch. I didn't play it in English because my friend at the time had a foreign exchange student in his house who was Dutch. And he was staying with the family, and so he showed me this game Warcraft 3 in Dutch. So the first time I actually played Warcraft 3 was in Dutch, and then I purchased the game for myself in English. Which little anecdote right there, but
a bit weird, but okay.
Yeah,
Dutch.
What was I saying?
Cutscenes, how good they were.
Cutscenes,
2004.
Yes. So 2004, I will just go off on random tangerines and just forget what I am talking about. I will just ramble on forever. But in 2004, if you saw the cutscenes of Warcraft 3 and you looked at the graphics of that time, they were fucking amazing. Blizzard's had such a good track record of making a captivating world. I think it's one of the biggest MMO worlds I've ever been in. I've never seen a world that's as big as that. They can make really big worlds that seem populated. They're really good at telling stories, and they're really good at making animations and making things interesting to look at, and they've really stepped up. I think every zone has its own contained story with now they have this system where whereas you'd have to read stuff, now characters kind of have a little portrait and they'll have a model that'll talk to you and that sort of stuff. There's way more voice acting than there was in
I think I think this is the way that all MMOs have really gone, haven't they? Like they've realised people don't read quest logs.
I saw a video today. Not today. It was just I saw a video about how Western RPGs are not consumed or like obsessed with adding voice line dialogue, and they should have it all text. They should have it all in text like JRPGs, so they can add more because the point they were saying was that if they have all these like text-based interactions, they can add like way more. I'm losing my words today. Make them more dynamic. So if you talk to them at certain different points, they'll say different things. Like they're less like static and less hollow.
Right.
They're actually more animated as people. But I don't think that's true. I'd much rather have, as a Western RPG fan, I'd much rather have like a world full of dialogue where it's all voice acted. Like I hate reading text.
I have a question though to this person who said this. Why do they want Western MMOs to be this? Why can't they be like a diversification?
Well,
between
they're talking about RPGs. So they're saying like like Fallout 4 was a hugely world full of like very hollow NPCs that really didn't have any depth to them. And they were saying like, oh, this JRPG has like so much depth to it. If you talk to these people on 7 different occasions, they'll have their own like separate side story. It's like it's all written in text, and it's in a game that's like 2D.
Yeah, you can basically just add your own like little text adventures for every character at that point.
I think like I definitely disagree with saying like we should be less obsessed with voice dialogue, because I think
it really sells it to me. It's one of the reasons why I really like Guild Wars 2.
Yeah, that was one of the selling points of Guild Wars 2, is like most of it's going to be like voice dialogue. They have like thousands of hours of voice dialogue. Yeah,
I'll be honest, the reason why I like Elder Scrolls Online, after they fix all the bugs and all the massive problems on release, like a year later, is that everything's voice acted. It's amazing.
So I did, because they were citing like, Witcher 3, it's not great, they're just obsessed with voice acting everything. They need to add more dynamic depth thing.
I have to disagree. I think it's
fantastic. Heavily disagreeing on watching that video, but I'm not like a fan of JRPGs at all.
No, I'm not a fan at all. It's not my thing at all.
But I was talking about World of Warcraft Legion, so that's one of the things that makes the zones is they have their own self-contained story. So one of the major things they added was each zone scales now. All the mobs that you tag, so they kind of tested this out in the pre-patch event where you had like these invasions where people were attacking Azeroth. So like a level 10 guy could be attacking a mob while a level 100 guy was attacking it, and they could be doing relatively the same damage scaled sort of thing. So you can go to any zone you want, and at every mob will scale to you. You can be fighting with someone who's like a completely different level to you, and it'll scale for them as well, which is really cool, because you can kind of decide what you want to do when you want to do, and it will scale for you, which is really cool.
No more of the days you walk into a high level area and just get killed.
No more of the days you walking into a low level area and just one-shotting everything. It means that all the content is relevant to you, because when you're leveling up and you want to go back and do the story of like, because I think Stormheim was designed to be one of the first zones that you did, or like one of the newer zones, because that area was where you kind of invaded. You had the invasion of the Broken Isles, which was kind of like the intro quest that you could do in the pre-patch, and that had some interesting lore stuff. But then you kind of, with Stormheim, you invaded, like with the Alliance, you went on the gunship, and with the Horde, you went with Sylvanas on like the fleet. And Stormheim's kind of one of the only zones where it's kind of different for the different factions. A lot of the zones where it's kind of just like you're working for neutral factions, so some of the quest lines will be the same on each side, but Stormheim was like a different quest for each side, because there was kind of more of a fight between the Alliance and the Horde. There was kind of this big battle between Greymane and Sylvanas that ended in a really cool cutscene that I really enjoyed. Big fan of Greymane. Hey Sylvanas, what a bitch. I don't want to give too much away, but Sylvanas is a character that's more consumed with herself than helping out the Horde, and she's supposed to be the leader of the Horde, whereas Greymane's not the leader of the Horde, but he's still trying. He is like selfishly trying to get revenge on Sylvanas, but he's not the leader of the Horde. Like Anduin is like the leader of the Horde, the Alliance. Sorry, now. So I think it's okay. Like I think I enjoyed Stormhind the most. I enjoyed the story there. There's some cool stuff that happens with the Valkyrie. Everyone was like on the Horde side after what Sylvanas did was like, are we the baddies? Like, are we the bad guys for what Sylvanas was trying to do? But yeah, the new artifact stuff, you get them straight away, which I found really weird because like in every WoW expansion, it's like there's this big epic ring that you can get at the end of the expansion after you talk to Khadgar for like a month straight of doing random side quests, and you get this one legendary ring. And now it's just like, here's the legendary Ashbringer that you get straight away. And I was like, whoa, like that's massive.
You get straight away?
Yeah, so the idea of the expansion with the artifact power is that that you get it straight away, and as you level through the zones, you get artifact power. So as one of the rewards for quests, you get like XP, gold, items, and artifact power, and then you use artifact power to level up your artifact, and it has like its own little talent tree. So there's been a lot. So people have been complaining about a lot of pruning of abilities on, the classes and pre-patch, but a lot of the stuff is now on PvP talents, artifact power, and leveling up your artifacts, and other stuff like that, and item level stuff. So a lot of the power and the stuff between each class in Warcraft is on these other things. They weren't necessarily just pruned for no reason. It's because they were kind of spreading out the power. I hope you're writing down timestamps on this, Toby, because I probably will talk about WoW for ages otherwise, and people might want to skip through this if they're not interested. So,
yeah.
Okay.
We're definitely doing that.
Yeah, so if you're not interested in WoW, and you're listening right now and you think,
just skip half an hour in.
Just skip. Well, I'll talk about Peter at some point. If you just hear me talk about we get to the part where he slams Peter Molyneux like he does every week. Here you go. Here it is for you. Fuck Peter Molyneux. There's your soundbite. There you go.
You did it.
Yeah. I got to max level with WoW Legion. I saw a lot of my friends playing like through the expansion really quickly. Like, I know I've been tempted, and I always get tempted in the past to just rush through the expansion. I do that a lot. But this time, I played the Battlefield 1 beta as well, which I'll talk about in a bit, where I kind of stopped and I kind of just enjoyed the questing, because the questing this time was really fun. Like, I know one of my friends, he played the alpha of Legion, so he knew exactly what he was doing, so he kind of rushed through it. But that's understandable if he's already on the quest. Like, I was listening to Krendor on the Corruptional podcast talking about Legion, and he said that he was in the alpha, but instead of doing all the quests, he just walked around all the zones. He didn't do any of the quests in the alpha, so when the game was actually released, he actually got to do the quests.
That's good.
So he didn't have to do them again, because I know TB actually resubscribed to World of Warcraft for the first time in 4 years.
Yeah.
To play this, and he said like in the past he'd been in the alpha for like the WoW expansions, and he said doing the quests again was really boring, but that's probably the best way to go if you're ever in a WoW alpha, which you're probably not going to be, because they're very closed and they don't really let people into those. So
you have to be well known in a way.
Pretty useless. Well, they kind of give it to people well-known like streamers and stuff, and then people who are very loyal to Blizzard. Like Pete, I think my friend got on the alpha. He's had an active WoW subscription for like forever. He has like a returning subscription. So I think, although they may not state publicly, they kind of have this this bias towards people who are like active subscribers, and probably is the best for them, because they're the people who are going to play the game the most anyway. Yeah. So I guess that's fine. Like I subscribe for like a couple of months, and I usually just go off and do something else depending on how good the expansion is. Like, because it's quite expensive to just keep subscribing to WoW. Like, I'm going to get my enjoyment out of leveling. I'm going to get my enjoyment out of the high-end PvP. I haven't played the high-end PvP yet. I've just literally got 110. I think people are running dungeons. I can't do heroic dungeons yet because my item level is like I think it's 810 you need, and I'm around like 795 somewhere around there.
It's up your level.
Yeah, but I need to farm gear, so I need to do like I've got my class order hall helmet. Like, you won't understand what any of this means, but if you're playing WoW, you know what I'm talking about. You get that. You upgrade it. If you're not,
just skip half an hour.
If you know it. I got that, and I'm probably going to be doing Suramar, which is like kind of the end game questing zone. You do some mana stuff there for the Nightfall, and I want to get towards the Pathfinder achievement, because they are adding flying to the Broken Isles similar to the way they did with Draenor, so they're going to have an achievement tied to it, but they're doing it in stages. The first stage is to, like, explore the area, get revered with all the factions and that sort of stuff, finish your garrison. I say garrison, I mean class order hall. So one thing I'll talk about, I'll just quickly finish this off. So if you do the first one, you get like increased movement speed, and then the next achievement, I'm guessing, will give you like either flying or it'll give you more speed or something along those lines. Like, I think it may be similar to the stables in the garrisons of World of Draenor, where it allows you to like mine nodes while you're still mounted, that sort of thing. But I'll talk about class order halls, because this kind of like, I was like, really wasn't too impressed by this, because this is basically like Garrison's version 2, but a very watered down version of it. So every class now has their own class order hall, where all, like, so I'm a druid on my character I'm playing at the moment. I have quite a few level 100, so I'm going to play through it on at the moment. But I was playing on a troll druid, and there's like a class order hall for all the druids, where we kind of all meet up, and it's kind of in the woods and stuff, like druid shit, like trees and shit, basically.
You love trees. You're a druid.
Yeah, but there's still like this, you collect followers, and you send them on time-gated missions and stuff, and there's still, you upgrade your class order hall, and it's behind time-gated upgrades, so I'm like waiting a week before I can actually get to the next upgrade faction. And it's okay, you don't have to do all this stuff, but there is like one of the last tiers of the garrison camp. You do need to do the garrison campaign for the Pathfinder achievement. You have to get to the final tier of the garrison campaign to unlock being able to use a second legendary. This probably won't affect a lot of people, but if you're a serious raider, you will need to be able to wield 2 legendary items at one point, because this will be like really useful for doing mythic like raids and that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of annoyed that they've tied a lot of the content behind the stuff. You can kind of ignore it, like you don't really need the 2 legendaries straight away, but I think it's really annoying that they did this shit again. When I saw it, I was kind of like skeptical of it, but it is kind of like Garrisons. I like the idea of class order halls, like being able to hang out with a bunch of other druids.
Yeah, but why the time stuff? Why is the time stuff necessary?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's purely for like the casual players, because they know they're going to get a bunch of people subbing for the first time. They've given the boosts, they've given the faction changes and stuff for years, so people can easily get back into the game. Demon Hunters start at level 100, and they're giving them this stuff to people who just want to come into the game and play casually and log in like once a week. So,
What can you do?
GG. Yeah, that's kind of all I talk about. I could go really in depth and talk about Legion for a long time.
No, you can have your own podcast for that, Jay.
I'll have a Legion only podcast where we talk about Legion with people that play it like.
You also play Battlefield 1 though. That's more interesting to me.
Okay, I'll talk about Battlefield 1. Get the timestamp down. So I played Battlefield 1 this week, and I was talking about this with Dan actually. I was asking if he was going to play it. My brother Dan, who's usually on the podcast to talk about board games.
Every other one, yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying, are you going to play it? And he said, it kind of looks like a reskinned Battlefront, and to a certain extent, it is kind of the same Battlefield.
It's the same engine and the same...
Yeah, it's still Frostbite, it's kind of like...
Same lighting systems and things, so...
Because there's one map available in the beta, it's a desert somewhere in Turkey, I can't remember the name of the map. But, yeah, I think it's the Turks versus the British, which I think also the group names have hilarious names. Like you have like Alpha, Beta, Charlie, like in the new ones, and then like in the World War One, it was like the British are like Apple, go to butter.
What?
Yeah, they all have like really stupid names, and they all have lovely English accents, which I always appreciate.
Beautiful.
It's beautiful, yeah. But yeah, he was like the desert kind of looks exactly like Tatooine. Like it just looks like kind of like a reskinned Battlefront made.
Well, there's only so many ways you can do sand in the Frostbite engine.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like Tatooine at all to me. That's only because like it's missing like some really iconic things that Tatooine would have.
It's just
it
like
looks
a
like a sandy
in the
place on Earth to me.
Yeah, but in a lot of ways it is kind of just like a reskin Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4. But I don't think that's the worst thing ever, dude. Like, I think
they've changed lots of stuff gameplay though, so that's the most important part, is the gameplay of a game, not how much it looks like another game.
The gameplay is fun. Like, I've always enjoyed. I enjoyed playing the beta for Battlefield Hardline. I found that game fun. I found the skin for that game. It was like a different skin on Battlefield 4, which I found fun. I played it for the beta. I didn't buy the game because it was a bit too expensive for what it was. Yeah. Like, if it was like a bit cheaper, I might have picked it up. But I think it's definitely worth checking out Battlefield 1. Like, some of the new gameplay elements are fun. Like, the horse combat's kind of fun. The horse is like, it's kind of hard to use. It serves a similar purpose like a Jeep, but it's a one-person vehicle that only you can use. It's kind of for getting across the map quickly, or like trying to ride down choke holes. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I would say it's smaller, so surely you could like ride around a building a lot easier than a Jeep.
Yeah, it's kind of like similar to like a motorbike. Like I think they had motorbikes in Hardline where you could go around the city, sort of thing. It'd be interesting how the horse works when not in like a really open map. Like, I played Conquest and Rush. I found Conquest was the way better game mode out of the two with the 64 people. You had the biplanes, you had the tanks and everything. I found I didn't like Rush that much on that map. I found that the map was kind of Turkish-sided a lot. Like you could get camped in the spawn as the British quite hard, which is kind of annoying. But yeah, it was fun going around a squad. Like, we had a squad. I was playing with some friends, so we had a squad of about 4 people, and like I was doing stupid shit like riding my horse into like a mortar gun and then getting blown up, and like we all got on the train. And we were riding the train around and capturing points and blowing shit up. The train is really fun to use. Like you never see like the trains that were used in like World War One used in like these actual games, but yeah, it's quite interesting where you can.
You're saying they're powerful as well.
Yeah, it's quite powerful. Like, it just, I think it's like a static. It's like a dynamic thing. It doesn't appear straight away, but then it comes onto the map, and then you can. I think it's like the blimp where it's given to the losing.
Oh, okay.
To like the losing or the winning side, like in the map that was shown at like E3, they had like the blimp. Yeah, that's kind of given to the side. I don't remember if it's winning or losing, but it's given to one side based on, who has like more tickets left on the scoreboard.
Right, okay.
So yeah, and also the map has like dynamic events. Like in Hardline, you had like the crane crashing down, and Battlefield 4, you had like the city being destroyed. Like on the desert map, that at one point there will be like a sandstorm that will completely destroy visibility. So like snipers become useless and that sort of stuff. Snipers aren't real.
It seems this is a lot more interesting. Like, they've added a lot more like random events to change up the pacing.
Well,
of the
they've
game.
Always had these events. Like,
no, but I think it's gone. They've added more and more to it. It's a lot better than like.
You still have like the building destruction, so you can just blast the shit out of a building if there's like a sniper and that sort of stuff. One thing I noticed, he said there's a lot less bullet drop on the snipers. I don't know if that's accurate. I didn't really play sniper that much. I didn't really enjoy playing that class. I found more fun in like the assault class, because one thing, tanks are really strong in Battlefield 1. So I would play the medic class, because the medic class is quite useful, but they have no way of destroying the tanks. Right. And if I'm the medic and I'm by myself, I can't do anything against the tank. Like, you really need to be an assault class, because the assault class has all the support class. Like, 'cause the assault has like the big frag grenade they can just toss at the tank, and they have dynamite charge they can throw on the ground and remotely detonate, which are really good for taking out tanks. Like, tanks seem really strong in Battlefield 1 from what I've played. That seemed to be like the general consensus, was like there's like single person tanks that are quite small, and then there's like the big tanks where you can ride on the anti-personnel carrier sort of thing.
Really big tanks.
And actually, in Battlefield 3, one of the things I didn't like was that planes were like one person only. Now you have like the biplanes with the driver in the first seat, and then the other person in the gunner seat in the back, so I can actually fly with one of my friends. Because I like flying in planes, but I'm an awful actually flying the plane, or like a helicopter or something.
So you want to shoot, and then your friend.
Yeah, I want to be like in the back gunning people down while he's like of avoiding and flying and stuff.
Yeah, maneuvering and getting to.
I don't have like any. I don't have like a joystick or something. I think that'd be way easier to fly with a joystick. But I think
people think.
I think it's way easier with like an analog stick. I think it might be easier with a controller, but God no, I'm not playing the game like a shooting game with a controller just for like flying planes. I know, like that was something that really was annoying in GTA. Was like I really wanted to use the keyboard for shooting, but I really wanted to use the controller for driving. And flying planes and stuff. And I found that a lot of the time I would just mix it between the two, and I found it kind of annoying.
You need some sort of peripheral which works on tangent with keyboard and mouse to have an analog.
There is actually a keyboard that's being developed where how hard you push down the key develops how much the wheels turn, similar to an analog stick.
Okay, that's clever.
For like racing game. Looks like an advert for it.
So no rice then.
See if I can find what it's called. If you just want to talk about what you think of Battlefield 1.
Right, obviously I haven't played it, but I'll go back to the train thing. I think people might complain about the trains, but I think it has to be powerful because it's on a set track, isn't it? Like it can only go around the track it's on, so you can't get across the whole map with it. So I think because of that, you need to have a powerful train.
Oh, okay, here it is. It's the Wooting keyboard, the analog mechanical keyboard.
I was going to ask that. How do the planes feel, though?
I flew one for about half a second as one of my friends accidentally bailed out of one.
Oh, okay.
He was just like, "Oh, how do I change seats? Oh wait, I was like, "I don't know how to fly this plane." Big explosion.
Okay, ask a different question then. As a foot soldier, how do the planes interact with you?
I found that you can ignore the planes a lot of the time, unless there's like a skilled pilot, because there is bomber planes, so there will be a lot of time that you will just get bombed the shit out of by a plane. But usually they'll just be like dogfights in the sky, and a lot of the time as a foot soldier, your main concern is snipers and tanks.
Right,
is kind of the thing that was going to mess you up the most. Like, definitely try and stay in cover a lot of the time. Sometimes you're a lot open in the big sandy desert because they'll have some buildings, but a long time they'll just be like huge stretches of just sand where snipers can just take you. But I like the dynamic sandstorm where you can kind of run up to people and take them out and that sort of stuff, which is quite fun. There's a lot of sandbags and stuff. There's a lot of like cover and stuff, so you can move from cover to cover and that sort of thing, and actually get the flank on like snipers and stuff. But I'd be interested to see another map. I thought the map was okay. I think they could have shown. I think they showed off 2 maps in like a different alpha of the game, and but this beta they're just showing off 1 map. I haven't played that much. The first day I couldn't play it because EA is being DDoS the shit out of.
For some reason.
Yeah. I don't know. Some people were just mad at EA for Battlefield 1 or something like. Blizzard is having their ass blasted for like 2 weeks because they originally banned a bunch of Overwatch cheaters, so they got their ass blasted by DDoSers, script kiddies, whatever.
Yeah.
Then like Hearthstone expansion came out, they were DDoSing the shit out of them, and then like the WoW expansion came out, and they were like trying to DDoS the shit out of them. There's huge like latency issues and that sort of thing. So Blizzard's having their ass blasted by DDoS people, and then
equally though the hackers, I assume, are getting their ass blasted back by Blizzard though. I hope. They say they've been updating their stability, but like they've been consistently like DDoSed by like many people, and like EA's being DDoSed, like their website went down and stuff, and like Origin went down and stuff. For like the first day, I couldn't actually play the game. Second day was a bit better. There was still like a game-breaking bug in the beta though, where sometimes you just spawn with no weapons and you couldn't do anything apart from get inside vehicles and shoot them. And I don't know what was causing it, but yeah, there was that huge bug where sometimes you join a server and you wouldn't be able to do anything because you would have no weapons. Just fly a plane.
Yeah.
That's what it wants you to do, clearly.
Well, I just got into a tank and started shooting shit, basically. That's what I think. The thing that seemed to fix it is you just leave the server and you just find another server and then you'll just spawn with guns again. So I don't know what was causing
Maybe it's just a pacifist server.
No, there's no pacifist in Battlefield 1, I'm afraid. There's no conscientious objector class in Battlefield.
Yeah. Stop this war, it's too much.
I wonder... I'm just looking at this wooting. I'd be really interested to play like GTR or a racing game on a keyboard.
I'd be interested in how it goes, yeah.
Because you have these full analog keys that...
I hope it becomes a standard for mechanical gaming keyboards.
Yeah, they go faster or slower based on how far you push down. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I saw their original on Kickstarter. They've got 452% off the funding. So
Jesus, that's a lot.
Apparently you can pre-order one starting at €160. So they're a bit expensive. So yeah, might want to read some reviews, see if they're any good on that. But yeah, that is what I've been playing. I've been talking about a really, really long time about WoW and Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 looks promising. It's more of the same, basically. If you like Battlefield with a World War 1 skin and a couple new like machines and mechanics where you can have new settings, new trains, the new horses, it is fun. You know, you like Battlefield, you're going to like this. If you're looking for something completely fresh and new, you're not going to get it. It's Battlefield. You know, it is fresh. It's away from the setting is fresh because it's, you know, back to World War 1. Some people have said it's like World War 2 with a World War 1 skin, which is like, I don't know.
Well, maybe, I think someone's saying that some of the weapons were kind of like a high, like halfway in between World War 1 and World War 2. But I'm not sure if that's actually true or not.
So we've actually been working on our own collectible card game.
Children's card game, you mean?
Yeah, CCG. I mean, a children's card game. We kind of it started off as me and Andy just kind of going, we should make our own version of Top Trumps and Tabletop Simulator into a full-on blown. We're going to make our own collectible card game sort of thing.
What happened was that you asked me, and then I overcomplicated some things, and Andy agreed, and then it got blown up from there.
I was just like, Toby, can you just like look at some of these stats and see if they're balanced? And then you were like, we need to add classes for each ability and have their own unique set of rules and dice rolls and stuff. And I was like, it's kind of just meant to be Top Trumps, but okay, let's just add abilities to everything.
Andy was in charge of this, and he agreed with me. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I was kind of like, let's not do any of the special abilities until we have the stats for the cards.
I kind of agree with you with that, actually. Now I think about it, but yeah. You probably should have done the stats first, then the abilities to match the said stats later.
I was telling Dan about this, because he was just like, who the characters are, and I was like, it's just like me, Andy, Toby, and like Harambe and stuff.
Yeah.
He was just like, how are other people going to play this? And I was like, I think we could convert it to like just general mythical creatures. Like Harambe would just be like a giant gorilla who's like in the jungle, and like I would be just like a potato farming peasant. Like I could easily just make this into like a, once all the stats and stuff are balanced, then I could easily just repurpose all of the characters to be different mythical creatures inspired by the.
You're like our publisher. You're like trying to like censor it to make it, or not censor, but change it to make it marketable.
Yeah, I'm trying to market the CCG. Like at the moment, it's called the NFL CCG, the Nether Fucking Lucky Children's Card Game.
Yeah,
but I feel like it could be like called Unlucky Fables or something. The CCG, and then there would easily be like.
But the Fable of the Potato, or the Fable of Peter Molyneux.
Don't worry, there is a Inbetween podcast expansion that we've been working on with Peter Molyneux in it. He will just be changed to some sort of like wolf in sheep's clothing card, where he's some deceiver who's going to like trick all the mythical creatures into doing stuff they don't want to do and buying connects. I feel like that's the most evil thing you can do, though. It's just like, what is this man in? You know, he's got 10 years for murder. What's this man? His name's Peter. He's got 15 years for making people buy connects.
Yeah, he got rid of all our money.
It is similar to Prison Architects, where people get like massive years for video game piracy.
Or indie video game piracy, to be precise. Yeah. There's two different crimes. There's video game piracy and indie video game piracy, and one indie video game is like 2 years longer. Or 3 years longer?
We briefly mentioned the CCG book. Do you want to say anything else about this, or shall we just wait until we unveil it to the public?
I was going to say, if it does, Do you think people will want our meme-horrific one, or is that too in-jokey?
I think there's people on there that only we know, and it's not going to make any sense. So I think once the game's balanced, we'll just I'll change all the characters, and I'll get all the images, and then we'll upload it to the tabletop simulator like workshop, and then see if people like it.
Yeah, they get their own rules and things for it as well, won't they?
Yep. So if you're interested in playing like a game that's similar to Top Trumps, do they have Top Trumps in other countries? I feel like is it an English game or is it an American game?
I don't know. I assume Top Trumps in other countries. I no idea.
So it's similar to Top Trumps when you have stats, but then you also have modifiers on special abilities. If that sounds interesting to you, I'll tell you when we're going to release it. If you want to play that on Tabletop Simulator, and maybe we can change it into like our own game. I don't know. It's just really interesting to do this. Like, even if like we just play it, like it's interesting.
It's interesting to balance, like get the experience
to make your own game. Yeah. Like even if it's just like a throwaway project. Like I was watching the indie game movie, and it was just like they were talking about Ed McMillan, and he had like so many projects that he was just like, these weren't very successful, but they taught me a lot about like game development. They taught me what to do and what not to do, and like it's just interesting to like we can have a podcast, and it's interesting to do that even if it's not successful. We can make a CCG because it's interesting and it's fun.
Are you trying to say something about our podcast?
No, Martin and Michael, please listen. Okay, it's fine. We're not saying this podcast isn't successful. Okay, keep listening, please. Andy, on mute. You won't be able to hear this, but keep listening. We'll keep talking about video games because that's what we love to do. We do it for the love of it. Yeah. But so I'll go on to the next topic, which is the YouTube community guidelines change. So we're going to be talking about YouTube this time because we are YouTube content creators, because we do upload our podcast to YouTube and YouTube only.
I don't think this really affects us because there's no way of them knowing that we're controversial in any way.
We're very controversial.
We are, but there's no way they can tell from our...
Don't tell YouTube that we're harassing Peter.
Yeah, Keemstar especially. Don't tell him either. Yeah. And don't tell YouTube we're harassing him.
So I'll just read through this document for people who are listening. So these new community guidelines are for monetization specifically. So the main ad revenue of YouTube, if you don't know, is that people watching ads on YouTube. Once you watch this ad, then that gives money to YouTube and the person who's made the video. So if you're willing to stick around and watch the video, you'll be wanting to stick around and watch the ad.
It also has a net effect of the more they watch, the more they want to... The advertising company want to put more adverts on there because they see it's successful.
If you're using ad blocker, this won't affect you, as much of the internet is.
If you want to support
I was actually watching it. I'll go on for Tangerine very quickly.
Okay.
But I was watching a YouTube video on my TV downstairs, so I don't have ad blocker on it. So there was an advert on it. It was an 11-minute long advert, and I was just so interested in it. I didn't skip. I just watched the entire thing. It's
You watched the 11-minute advert?
Because it really confused me. Because it was like produced by. It was like this super long advert that was really well made. And I was like, because it was just said, this advert is brought to you by Jameson Whiskey. And it was like this 10-minute advert about this woman who is selling makeup products. And she just goes to this man's house and he's like, can I sell some makeup products to your wife in like 1980? And then he was just like, no, but please come in. And then he was like dressing up as a woman. He was like, I want you to put the makeup on me. And then it was like this 10-minute long thing where he became one of these like Avon ladies where he went around selling makeup.
Wait, what?
And I was like, what does this have to do with whiskey? What does this have to do with whiskey? It really confused. Like, produced by Kevin Spacey. And I was just like, what? Kevin Spacey did this? What's this got to do with Jameson Whiskey? Like, I wouldn't have known this had anything to do with Jameson Whiskey if I hadn't have read that it was by them. Like, anyone who was just casually watching this would not go, oh, I need to buy some whiskey now.
Yeah, that's what I need in my life right now.
Oh, this is fucked up. Let me get some whiskey. So, yeah, quick tangerine on adverts on YouTube. An interesting one if you want to look that one up. But the new guidelines for monetization is that you can't actually get monetization on your videos, or they'll be like pending if you like breach any of these very vague guidelines. So content that's not considered content that is considered non-advertiser friendly includes, but is not limited to, sexual suggestive content including partial nudity and sexual humor, Violence, including displays of serious injury and events related to violent extremism, inappropriate language involving harassment, swearing, and vulgar language, promotion of drugs and related substances, including selling, use, and abuse of such items, and controversial or sensitive subjects and events, including subjects related to war, politics, conflicts, natural disasters, and tragedies, even if graphic imagery is not shown. So this is really confusing because they just come out of this from nowhere.
Thing is, though, when they say graphic image not shown, that I think they mean they're not looking at imagery. I think this is like a dead giveaway. I reckon they're just looking at tags, description, and title.
Yeah, the last paragraph's the most confusing one because it says controversial, sensitive subjects. So if you have a video talking about like suicide prevention, you can be flagged for like, oh, you're talking about suicide, we don't want to advertise on your videos, even if it's giving out like a positive message.
It was Boogie who had that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he had like a suicide tag in his video because he was talking about suicide prevention and trying to help these people.
Yeah.
And they're kind of saying like, advertisers want to opt out of your video because you've got suicide in your tags.
I think the system at the moment is that if you have if their automatic detection system finds it matches any of these things, it might be more than what they've said, but it might not be. It might be exactly that. Who knows?
We got back to the problem of automatic flagging again, and it's now even harsher. They've cranked up the settings. Because it's no secret that YouTube is not making money.
No. The thing is, though, they haven't changed these policies, right? These are policies from a year ago. What they've changed is the way they're policing it. They're actually implementing systems like this new tagging system to actually put you into a blacklist. So only advertising companies that opt into the blacklist you get adverts for. So you get 10 times less revenue from it.
They were doing this, but they weren't really telling you this.
They were sort of doing this, not automated on a massive level, but they were sort of doing this, yeah.
Advertisers would have to opt into, this sort of graphic content, like if your video has partial nudity or inappropriate language, or you're talking about like drug use and that sort of stuff, advertisers would have to like tick a box and say, I'm okay with advertising on this stuff, which meant that like no advertiser was like, oh yeah, I want my stuff advertised on like harassment, or I want my stuff advertised on somebody's trying to like make people take drugs and that sort of stuff. Maybe Jameson Whiskey put that they want the drug taking ones, but they're very confusing adverts.
Yeah,
but I'm just going to break down each paragraph because I can understand where YouTube's coming from. So I'll talk about why I think YouTube is doing this, and you can kind of say why that's so stupid. Okay?
Yeah, and then talk about why YouTube's doing the whole thing in general and why they need to do it, and why it might actually be a good thing or how it could be abused.
So the first paragraph is. The first bullet point is sexually suggestive content, including partial nudity and sexual humour. This is to counteract, kissing prank gone wrong, gone
YouTube
sexual.
Absolutely hates this.
These videos make a bunch of money for YouTube, but they hate the negative press that this gives YouTube.
Because
YouTube's trying to counteract this.
Is again they're not. Sometimes they're not even age restricted properly. So you just have children they use it for
these children looking at blowjob prank gone sexual, gone naked. So I think this is what is counteracting this. Is there any real issue? I think this is
there are some issues, but it's the.
I think it's the least offender. I'm fairly okay with this.
Yeah, that's the least offensive. It's kind of understandable.
I think like art things get passed on this. This might interfere with like artistic things with naked people.
Well, about your favourite topic, breastfeeding videos?
Oh yeah, I always love going on YouTube and getting clickbaited by breastfeeding videos.
The thing is, I reckon educational videos can bypass this quite easily in some way. Not fully, but in some way.
So the next paragraph is like the weirdest one. Because I can understand, so it says violence, including displays of serious injury and events related to violent extremism. Okay, well I can understand this. But so this is kind of for people who are showing like videos of, dangerous fighting and that sort of stuff.
Oh, okay, right.
Violent extremism, like, I don't know, maybe like real like. People beating. You always see this stuff though, where like real fights, people beating the shit out of each other on the streets, monetize it. I think they're trying to counteract that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm kind of okay with that actually.
As long as like gaming fighting isn't included in that though. Because you could technically...
There's no way.
No, you could technically claim, like, if you went back, like, 5 years ago, you could claim, oh, yeah, video games are causing violence to
Dungeons
people.
and Dragons is the devil's way of getting
RPG
you
is believe in the heart of the D20.
You know, or basically, Toby, if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons or you're playing games, you're basically giving in to Satan at that point. And people don't want to monetize on Satan. You know. It's the next bullet point I want to... Inappropriate language, including harassment, swearing, and vulgar language. What?
Why is that?
People swear on YouTube all the... So, okay, they kind of want to advertise... They want to advertise to kids.
That's fine, but why not have a 3-tier system? Why have an opt-in system only?
I think the harassment thing is the most important word in here, because they're kind of targeting people like reaction people like Keemstar, like Leafy, who kind of go a bit too far on harassment. I think that's why this exists, and I think YouTube kind of like they've made this because they didn't want to say we need to get rid of these people off our service because that seems kind of dictatorship. So they're just going to change the guidelines to get rid of these troublesome people. Trying to get rid of the content, but they've put it behind an automated bot.
Yeah.
When they're trying to target very specific people, from what it looks like. Which is really confusing to me.
And again, people like Keemstar could easily abuse the system to get around it. It's not a difficult system to get around.
Daniel Keem does not own the channel known as...
Exactly. He's just a host.
Dramala, even though he's been permanently banned from YouTube anyway.
He's a host, that's all.
You know. I mean, you could even say, like, we had inappropriate language in our videos, because I'm always like, fuck Pete Molyneux and stuff, and I'm apparently
is that harassment?
Am I harassing Pete
Molyneux? I don't consider that harassment, it's my thing.
I don't think I am, I think with these really vague guidelines, I could be.
Keemstar, like, because you say, like, Leafy goes, you say, like, you think he goes too far, and Keemstar definitely goes too far. Like, Keemstar definitely harasses people. I think Leafy sometimes harasses people, but mainly just the products they produce. We do that as well. We complain that Peter Molyneux's products are shit.
Yeah.
Is that harassment? I don't think that's harassment. People might consider that harassment because people take things personally, because humans do that. If you attack someone's property, you kind of consider it a personal attack. It's not harassment though. So I don't. Again though, I don't know how YouTube can automate this other than looking at title, tags, and description. How can they know the video itself contains these things?
Yeah, it's going to be the system was mainly in the tags. So it's people that are getting flagged are going to be talking about controversial issues. Like, I think it was is it Philip DeFranco? Where he was getting flagged for, like, when he was talking about the rape allegations on Toby Turner. Yeah. So all his videos were like, "Oh, you've got rape in your tags, so we're not going to give you any like monetization."
Which is stupid because it was just saying how stupid the allegations were, not.
Yeah.
And so how would you advertise that then? That just seems really stupid.
It's just like you're incentivized to not correctly tag your videos, otherwise advertisers will not.
There are a ton of videos on this topic, and a lot of them are saying that it's like a censorship from YouTube. I don't think that's necessarily the case though. I think it could be used in that way, but I don't think it actually is trying to do that. I think it is I think it's just a scheme for YouTube for Google to try and get money from YouTube.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to put less advertisements on videos that aren't making that much money and are positive towards YouTube.
Which I think is fair enough, because I think it's also good in the long term as well, because if YouTube is actually making money for Google, they might actually be more active in changing things that we think are really bad, because they actually have a reason to do so, because it's given them profit. At the moment, they're losing some money from it. And there's no reason for them to make it better. There's absolutely no reason to make them better at all.
Yeah, so I think the next bullet point, the promotion of drugs and regulated substance, including selling, use, and abuse of such items, I think that's okay. I don't really know the extent of that though. Like telling kids to take drugs, or
I don't even think that should be allowed on YouTube really, to tell kids to take drugs.
Well, that's kind of what they're saying. I don't think these videos exist.
No.
Where there's just like, hey kids, take some drugs, yeah? These videos don't really exist, but I feel like that's what they're trying to counteract.
You could have like adult trailers for like a Netflix original series, like, and they have like heavy drug use involved in it or something like that. I guess that would be flagged as well.
I feel like this this paragraph should be promotion of gambling as well. I feel like that's probably a bigger issue where you have like these people like I feel like it shouldn't be shoehorned into drugs. I feel like promotion of activities that are like over 18 activities.
Yeah. That's what it really should. They should really generalize that even more in a way.
Stuff. But if I have a video where I say I'm making like, say I'd never do this. Say if I was making like a vlog of my day and I was just like drinking like a glass of beer and I said, this beer is really good. You guys should check it out. Am I breaking that community guideline?
Yeah, I would claim not, because you're not. It's not. It is an overrated activity.
What about if I said, hey kids watching this, you should drink beer, it's good?
It should specifically say, it's like you're trying to, if it's doing something that children shouldn't do, it should be that. It shouldn't be just... It's all very vague. YouTube's very good at being very vague.
They're very good at not taking responsibility for things and being vague and hiding behind automated systems. Like, I don't know how many people working at YouTube, but all I can see is one automated bot that kind of responds.
I think there's like two. One for the bot and one for the legal department. And I think they're flooded with requests all the time.
They have like the support team of Steam.
Yeah, well,
like
the support...
Rockstar.
I thought the support staff of Steam was just like a chicken or something.
Yeah, it's just like a chicken who...
On a keyboard. You know, one of the...
the thing that goes up and down and presses one button.
Yeah, that's what it is.
The last paragraph is the thing that really pissed people off, because you have the controversial or sensitive subjects. What does that mean?
Yeah.
So if you just talk about anything like related to like suicide or rape
this is what this is what
something.
People really didn't like. I think this is like, they're trying to censor us, because like if you try and speak something controversial or against like the societal norm at the moment.
I just say I don't like YouTube's automated system of shutting down the stuff, that's probably controversial. If I say, YouTube, you're not doing a very good job, and are you going to censor me that by taking away money revenue that people rely on to make these videos?
What about if I said some feminists are basically feminazis and they take feminism too far? It should be about equality. Is that too far?
Some people are saying this is spurred on by social justice warriors, but
I don't think it is. No,
I think it's mainly the businessmen at YouTube going, we need more profits. We need to get rid of troublesome people on YouTube who are causing us issues.
Everyone's like panicking and thinking this like it's censoring because of the social justice warriors and the feminazis and things. But I don't think that's the case. It could be used for that in the future, but I don't think that's why it is here now. I think it is literally just here for YouTube to make money to get more adverts.
I can kind of defend YouTube on this one quickly, because I can see they've all said in events including subjects related to war, political conflicts, natural disasters and tragedies. So if there's like a tsunami that's just hit and killed like 1,000 people in like, I don't know, like Thailand or something, and I just make a video on it and monetize it, that is a bit disrespectful for me to make money off a natural disaster that's just killed
alternatively though, if you just have a news channel and you make things weekly or daily or whatever you're doing, I don't know how big your channel is, and you have that in and you want to do this, like is it insensitive then? So they need to stay afloat.
I think that you need a human to decide what's just monetizing off people's grief and what's reporting the news. I
honestly think a lot of this should be up to the people watching it if they flag it as inappropriate.
But there's more YouTube videos on YouTube than there is people at this point, basically.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't think an automated system is what they needed for, like, some of this, fine, I have it automated, but a lot of it is like, why don't you just have it so people can flag it if they think it's too far?
Right. Squeaky, no, you're going to leave the authentic squeaky chair noise in, Toby. It's my favourite part.
We'll see. I can't make any promises. Much like YouTube, I can't make any promises.
Squeak my chair
do you think YouTube is like the opposite of Peter Molyneux, who don't make enough promises and don't commit to anything? Whereas Peter Molyneux makes too many promises, doesn't commit to anything, and fails.
My favourite quote from Peter Molyneux is that he was just like, do you think you overpromised this? And he was just like, no, I didn't promise it enough.
This isn't
for it's for the cube thing that he did. He was just like, I didn't overhype it. I didn't hype it enough. Like, he just goes to fucking 11. When someone's like, you were hyping it to a 10 here. And he was like, I'm on fucking level 11 now, dude. I'm hyping it even more in the face of adversity. Like, I feel like if you had like a rap battle, I want Peter Molyneux to be my hype man. He's like, he's like, yo, here we go. Here's my game. It's gonna be really good. Here's my game. Yo. The last Fable sucked, guys. You know,
that's what's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a social experiment cube that's gonna be really good.
We're going to have the last game in the series. The menu system is going to be you walking around in a room, so it's really awkward. It's going to be really great.
This might completely fuck up your audio balancing because I've just spoke really loudly into the microphone. But
who knows? Who cares?
Who cares?
Screw the rules. You have a microphone.
Are we done with YouTube community guidelines now? It's a really bad system.
We've slightly defended it, really, haven't we?
I defended it because I could see where YouTube was coming from, but I still think it's really poorly implemented.
Half the things they have shouldn't be automated. It should be attached to the flag system. Have some of it automated, fine, but a lot of this needs to be human interaction. So have it attached to the flag system will probably be a lot better. But again, I can understand why they wouldn't do that, is because then they can't guarantee the advertising. But I think for it's in the middle, not going full advertising, not going full content creator, it's good to have, I think, make half of those things a flag and then other half automated.
Do you want to just talk about what PlayStation Now is quickly?
Yeah, I can do. I think we know much of each other though, but yeah. So, hello Squeaky Chair. PlayStation Now is a Netflix experience for, not quite a Netflix experience rather, for games from the PlayStation. I think it's just limited to the PlayStation 4 games, wasn't it, at the moment? Like a select few? Is it 90 games? But yeah, basically, they're bringing it to PC, so you can subscribe for a certain amount a month, and then
it's for 400 games.
400 games, that's more than I thought, okay. So you can stream games from the PS4, well not from a PS4, but from the PS4 library to your PC and play it.
Yeah,
basically bypassing exclusivity in some ways, but obviously you don't own the games.
It's going to be streamed in 720p 60 FPS to your PC from their cloud, but it is going to be with like the old limitations of like the previous gen software from the PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
But the most interesting titles that we saw here were I think it was Journey, which I have played and I hated it, but I also hate walking simulators, so that may be why.
Probably, yeah.
The God of War games are going to be on there because God of War 3 was for the PlayStation 3, and I have played through the remastered.
What about Infamous?
God of War. I don't know if Infamous is on there because I haven't looked fully into this.
Okay.
I'm not a big console. I'm not a big PlayStation guy.
No.
I just really like the move of moving their exclusives onto PC. So The Last of Us, the God of War series, and Journey are like some of the biggest ones that are being moved onto the PC exclusivity. And it's really interesting because we were talking about this last week about how Microsoft wants to move more towards PC. They want Windows 10 exclusives on the Microsoft Store, then slowly move them onto Steam. And they're kind of going to turn the Xbox into one closed system, kind of upgradable computer.
Microsoft's currently going for the timed exclusivity over anything else.
Yeah. And it seems like Sony's kind of making a move more towards PC now. I don't think it's like, we're jumping ship from consoles. Consoles are dying. I think consoles are always going to exist.
I think they're just they're making a bigger audience for consoles in a way.
Yeah.
Because it's still technically being streamed from a PlayStation system in some way.
I think getting past the hardware limitations of a console is going to be a huge step towards, like, you know, having these fantastic games, like, and if they can all be, I think, I don't know, because if people are going to have different hardware on these closed-end kind of console systems, why not make it harder to develop the games? I don't know, because you have to do this for PC anyway, so I don't know if it's going to be like.
Well, you mean because lots of different ones, it's harder to develop for the game, opposed to just one type
we were
of console.
We were talking about on an earlier podcast, I was saying how, like, a quote from the original Xbox, if you had a different disk drive on the Xbox, it meant you had to code the game completely differently from like another version. It was an absolute nightmare.
The thing is, though, you could make this slightly simpler if you had if Microsoft also did all the API. So even if they had different hardware, the API would sort that all out, and all of the developers would have to do is interact with the API. I don't think it's going to be that simple all the time. There could be nuances and things, but I think that it will sort of alleviate some of the difficulty there.
So with PlayStation now, we're not getting like, oh, you can buy a game off PlayStation and play on your PC. No. You can subscribe to Sony's service where you could stream games from their servers. You don't own any of these games, basically. Whereas with Windows, they're kind of moving towards, we'll have it on the Windows 10 store for a bit, and then we'll move it to Steam later. What was the game that came out recently from Microsoft? It was Quantum Break, I think.
Yeah.
Was it called?
It's Quantum Break.
That's been announced coming to Steam.
Well, they did it. They did it with Tomb Raider as well. Was it last year, beginning of this year? They did it with Tomb
Raider is now on Steam.
Yeah, but it was like a timed exclusive. I remember people when they announced the exclusivity that in like last year's E3, like everyone was in uproar. Was like, why is it exclusive for Xbox? And it was like they forgot.
Oh, is it Xbox now?
Well, it was on Xbox.
I thought Tomb Raider was like a PlayStation thing.
No. It became an Xbox thing. This generation, it was a timed exclusive. But last E3 they didn't say it was a timed exclusive. They just said it was exclusive. Then again, a lot of PS4 stuff last year they said it was exclusive. They just meant it was console exclusive. It was on PSC as well. So you can't trust E3 anymore when it comes to exclusives.
No, you never. If you want to see people like making horrible shows and bringing cars and Pele onto the stage, then you watch E3. But you don't watch it for actual information about
that's
games.
What we watch it for anyway.
Yeah, we get the bingo cards. E3 and make sure all the antics are covered there.
Ubisoft, you did fantastically this year.
You had another fantastically awful show this year. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you did it.
But so whereas Microsoft's kind of moving towards you can buy games off Steam, PlayStation is still like Sony owns the rights to all these games and you can play them on our system. They're kind of more closed off than what Microsoft's moving towards, but I think it's a step in the right direction.
I think it's good for everyone in a way.
I think you might subscribe. You might just pay like how much money was it? It was like £12 or something for 1 month. Yeah, it's £12.99 for a month. So it's like £13 for 1 month of this, and you can just download and play through like whatever exclusives you can play through before.
Yeah, that's quite good.
It has an annual fee for the US and Canada. But I don't think that's going to be available in other countries. They haven't confirmed that yet. The annual fee for US and Canada is $100, which would be way cheaper than buying it for a month. But I think that's kind of to get people to buy the service for a whole year. Because I think a lot of people will just buy it for a couple of months, and I think that's fine.
Well, I could see myself like buying it a month at a time or something, just get some good console games that I can't play otherwise.
I think you can, from the article I read, you can get a 7-day free trial. So it might actually be worth...
trying out.
Yeah,
no, that's good.
It seems like you can play. I think you might be able to play Uncharted on this, so that might be interesting to get.
I'm just thinking how the streaming works though. Obviously, that's kind of dictate how good it is.
Yeah, because we've already had this streaming service. Was it OnLive that tried to do this?
OnLive.
I know, like ages and ages ago, my friend went to a games convention in London. I can't remember which one it was, but he went to a games convention. I think Eurogamer. That's the one it was. He went to Eurogamer. He was really excited to get his OnLive box and try out OnLive, and he got it. And OnLive wasn't very successful. Like the streaming was okay, but the technology wasn't there. I think we've advanced a lot further from the technology that we had. So I think it's a bit better, but I don't think it's like perfect yet. I think there's still going to be issues and there's still going to be limitations of the PlayStation 3 system, no matter, what hardware you're running on your computer.
Yeah.
So you think you'd subscribe for like a month, maybe?
I don't know. I mean, probably a month at a time, just like play like a PS3 exclusive or something.
That's kind of what I do with WoW, though. I subscribe for a couple of months and I see what it's like. And I'm not someone who's like a who's going to subscribe for a whole year because of how logistically expensive it is, but mainly because sometimes I just get bored of the game and I want to play something else, so I don't want to pay I don't want to pay for a subscription for something I'm not using. So,
No, exactly.
I think this will definitely get a lot of PC fans interested. This is huge news for PC gaming, and as well as the Microsoft news that all this stuff is happening. There's a lot of exciting stuff happening in PC gaming recently, really, isn't there?
It's more like cross-platform interactions from that. Like
we have
Xbox
like
to PC to PS3.
Yeah, we have like the Microsoft and Sony kind of coming to PC. We have like all these new GPUs and hardware coming out. That's really interesting, and virtual reality, which is like huge staple of PC gaming at the moment. I don't think. I think
it's all kind of it's driven by like how the PC market's been the last 4 years.
If we were playing Civ right now, Toby, we'd be in a golden age.
We would be. You're right.
We would be in a golden age.
I was going to say
PC gaming has achieved a golden age.
Yeah, I was going to say because of the way PCs have been going, because like more and more hardware is coming out quicker and quicker because of competition on the PC market. This is kind of not made obsolete the console, just made it more people buying PCs for gaming again. And I think because of that, Sony and Microsoft want to get in on the market for that. I think it's a good thing all round. Obviously, it doesn't really affect you if you're on the consoles, but it might do.
I think there's definitely going to be people who still want to just buy a closed-off
system absolutely.
Put it in their lounge and play it.
There's loads of people I know
that do that. There's definitely
a
market for that, and I think that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that's actually really good.
It's not personally for me, but I can understand the point of view they're coming from.
Yeah. I think that's perfectly fine. I think that's interesting. And I think the closed system will exist, but having an upgradable system or
as long as we can all agree that consoles are actually PCs, though. Not PCs, rather, but are computers in some way.
Yeah.
That do not... console people do not claim your console is not a computer. It is a computer.
Yeah, the console was kind of stupid anyway. I don't really see the point.
Yeah.
The only reason it exists is because of exclusives. Like, you can just play anything on a PC, basically, if it wasn't for exclusives, but we're kind of tearing down those barriers now, so...
Yeah, they're tearing it down in a way that the companies still win because they still own the rights and they still do it through their platform.
Toby, the Berlin Wall of gaming is falling, and we are finally in a world of peace.
I hope so.
The golden age.
Can we have like the console PC union then?
Well, I've got the title of the podcast. It's the golden age.
Golden Age PC Master. I mean PC, not Master Race. This isn't World War II again. The console wars too.
PC Master Race will always win the Battlefield 1 World War.
Yeah, get your Nazi paraphernalia out and
Well, that'd be World War 2, but okay. So,
we should have referenced World War 1. Bollocks.
I think that's all you want to talk about for PlayStation now.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about... So we haven't really done this before. We're going to talk about some new releases that come out soon. So do you want to talk about the Turing test? Because this is a game we were talking about on the 3 podcast, and this is really interesting because it kind of looked like this kind of game very similar to Portal, where it's based on the Turing test, where if you don't know, it's Alan Turing, kind of the father of modern computers.
Well, I've watched.
The cracker of
it seems that you've been awoken code. And you have to solve these tests because you have to prove you're a human. For some reason, I won't go any more into that.
Yeah, the Turing test is a test to prove that you are a human.
And there's like an interesting, like GLaDOS-like character voicing over like during the playthrough, which apparently is. I mean, it seems really good. Like it seems really like it said it's like 70 puzzles, and then there's like some secret ones as well, and then there's like narration throughout the whole thing from this GLaDOS-type character.
Yeah, so the videos we've watched have been very brief about the story, so as not to spoil it, because that's apparently a big part of the game, is that you're kind of on an abandoned space station and the crew's missing, and you have to go through these missions to prove that you're not a robot to kind of figure out where the hell the crew went on this spaceship.
Yeah, they don't want to ruin it anymore from that, which is fair enough. I really want to get this game. They seems to have problems with how short it is to how much it costs. I'm fine with probably spending £20 on this game, but I know you're not. You think it's too short for money for it.
It's £15.
It's £15.
Yeah, it's like $20.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
So the game is about 5 to 6 hours long. So for me, I would probably spend like £10 on this game, 15 at a push.
Yeah.
So I think I would personally wait for this to go on sale, because apparently the ending to the story isn't great. Like on Rock, Paper, Shotgun, they said like if you feel like the ending is a bit lackluster, then you can try out like Soma, which has a more dirtier, exploration of the the kind of artificial intelligence debate and what makes us human, what makes us a robot, and it has a way better ending. Like, it's kind of a mix of Portal and the Tallius Principle, if you've seen that game, and it's kind of like, what does it mean to be a human? Like, can a robot pass the Turing test, like, sort of thing. It's kind of like the psychological, philosophical questions, like, what does it mean to be human, and kind of put into a puzzle sort of thing, similar to Portal. Really, I know we say that a lot, but it does really remind me of Portal, which might not.
I think it's similar to Portal in like setting and narration. Then it's like similar to Talos Principle in terms of the types of puzzles that are inside of the game.
You kind of have this. It's a lot of first person.
Both those games are fantastic. So one more than the other.
I mean, being compared to like one of the best first-person puzzle games of all time is probably not a bad thing.
No, unless you're being bad, yeah.
Compared negatively.
If you're being compared and you're saying it's on par, then all the power.
Something that got really negative comparison was Battleborn to Overwatch, where Overwatch is really good, but people really didn't like.
What was
Battleborn,
that puzzle game?
It was a completely different game.
That was from like the Portal.
Create Quantum Conundrum.
Yeah, that's it.
I really love that game. I'd still defend that game. I've played through that game. It was made by Kim Swift, the original creator of.
I think it is. I think you can definitely defend it. I think it is very good.
Well, it's got my boy Q.
Yeah, Q from Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Yeah, Q from Star Wars from.
Yeah, the Doctor Who nemesis. Yeah, sorry.
He wasn't there to teach me lessons about what it means to be humanity, but he definitely he's kind of like your crazy uncle scientist, and you're kind of going through the puzzles to get to him. I definitely still recommend picking that up. That's a fantastic puzzle game. It is made by Kim Swift, the original creator of.
I just thought the way they did it was quite interestingly visually and creative, like as a puzzle mechanic.
Interesting. I was watching the Valve News Network with Tyler, and he was talking about the guy who was like is the current lead developer on Portal. I don't remember his name, so please forgive me. But he's now working on like a pirate party game where you kind of it's like a fast-paced party card game where you play with. You try and get booty, and then you weigh the booty on scales. Then the scales are made from the box that the game comes in.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting, doesn't it?
I want to see how this goes. Okay.
He was also talking about how Valve's being sued again by British Telecom.
Oh no, not again!
Something. Apparently, they stole something from British Telecom to make Steam.
What?
I was just like, what?
What?
Like BT seems to just sue everyone, and like Sky was suing No Man's Sky because it had the word Sky in it.
Okay, good luck with that one.
All these like random British companies are like suing these big game development teams. I'm like,
they're not gonna win.
Are you doing this?
There's no way.
You're not gonna win.
The two Titan companies going against each other. One is bigger than the other. You're not gonna win.
The name of the game is Seven Siege, a booty-grabbing card game. Okay. It's up on Kickstarter at the moment.
Sky went up against Sony, basically, because they're publishing it. Yeah. They're not going to win. There's no way. I mean, if Sony can sue itself, another head of Sony. Sony is a Hydra, as you said before.
Yeah.
Cut off one head and then they all attack.
Another one spawns.
Yeah, you can't beat Sony. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but currently Seven Siege is up on Kickstarter. If a pirate game where you get booty and you weigh it sounds interesting, check it out. It's made by Jeep Barnett from Portal, so that was kind of a tangent from the Turing test.
Tangent of a tangent.
Just to say. You know me and my tangerines. I'll have them.
Yeah. Tangerines.
But going back to the Turing test, anything else you want to say about that? Just interesting puzzle game.
I really want to pick this up now.
I really want to play this myself. I'm definitely going to pick it up on sale.
Yeah, definitely.
So the next game. Another thing we'll say. The game apparently has constantly expanding mechanics, so you never don't feel challenged.
Yeah.
Like, even though some of the puzzles are short, some of the harder puzzles will be like 20-30 minutes long, and you want to keep going to learn what's going on in the story.
I think things like Portal, they tend to do this as well. Like, you start off with just normal Portal mechanics, and you get more and more and more gels till the end.
That's one of the reasons I wasn't going to put too much money into it. I was going to wait for like a £5 discount or somewhere around there, was because there's not a lot of replayability of the game. So in the review I watched, it was mentioned that if you want to watch it, I was watching the Idiotech review, which is quite good. There's no leaderboards, there's no workshop, there's no anything like that. There's not a lot of replayability of the game.
I think
so for a game
leaderboards would be so good.
Steam trading cards, Toby. I don't actually no idea if it has Steam trading cards. Oh, it does. Fantastic.
Right, replayability.
Steam trading cards, replayability completely done. But yeah, they need to add I think Workshop is something that really kept Portal 2 alive, where people wanted to go back and make their own levels, even spanning to a bunch of mods being made and published by Valve saying people will pay money for this stuff. It's so good.
Leaderboards would be simpler to implement, but yeah. A level editor for Turing test would be useful.
If Valve, one of the most successful game companies, anything to go by, of a philosophy of allowing modders to flourish and they will help you, then you should probably allow a modding scene in your game.
I don't think it's any game where it's detrimental, is it? It's never been even with games that have like excessive DLC and Workshop, they still both work.
It means extra development time for the team, so if they're not willing to put in the dev time to get that sort of stuff in there, then that's more to them there, But the last game we'll talk. Well, no, actually, the last game. This is the second game. Live Lock is a 3-player co-op futuristic twin-stick shooter with some brawler characters in it. So
it looks amazing.
This is really interesting. It's like a futuristic kind of dungeon crawler.
Humans are dead, as that one Flight of the Conchords song says. All the humans are dead.
The humans are dead.
The late 90s. It's a lot different after the late 90s, as you would know.
Mm.
But yeah, this is really interesting.
So it is a 3-player co-op game. So you kind of do. It's meant to be played like that. Like a recent game that came out in Acropolis. It was said it's definitely meant to be played with other people because it feels very hard to play by yourself. So I think you definitely want to play this with a couple of people. Co-op games are always going to be more fun with other people, but
especially the mechanics that actually you actually work together and do stuff together.
Like a game where in single player, if you go down, you just die. Whereas like a game where in co-op you go down and then someone can get you back up. It's like a huge difference. Borderlands, like a game like Borderlands, playing it by yourself and playing with friends is a completely different experience, and the game is definitely balanced around co-op play more as
way more
single
fun,
player play. Yeah, I actually think Borderlands 1 and 2 are some of the best co-op games I've ever played.
Yeah,
they're super fun.
It makes the bosses way more fun as well in co-op opposed to single player.
Well, you don't just have to focus on like bullet sponging the boss down.
No.
You also have to get your friends up and help them out and sort of stuff and interact with them. But back to Livelock. There's a lot of interesting stuff. You can upgrade your characters. It has a really cool aesthetic. It does what it does well, but it's not groundbreaking. This is a twin stick shooter with a couple of like brawler characters. You're going to be going through levels and beating them and getting
I don't think every game needs to break the mold necessarily. It just needs to do things well.
Yeah.
World of Warcraft is a prime example.
Well, there wasn't that many great MMOs when World of Warcraft.
No, but it took other things. It absorbed the other good content from the other MMOs and just did it well. And I honestly don't think that's a problem with games at all. I think this looks like a solid.
We've come to a point where if a game isn't, there's so many games on Steam where if a game isn't like, this game is like groundbreaking, it's revolutionary, people think it's bad.
I don't know. Yeah, I find that weird.
Like, this game is good, and you should play it. It's fun. So, yeah. It doesn't have to be like, oh, yeah, no, the new, like, promised super 4X space exploration game that we've all been waiting for and then get horribly disappointed by when,
Wait,
it is crap.
Is it about Master of Orion here?
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Masters of Orion.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about Civ, Galactic Civ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's just terrible, though. There's plenty of new space 4Xs now.
Yeah, well, hopefully there'll be one that I enjoy one day. But that is Livelock. That is a fantastic game. Check it out on Steam. Watch the trailer, see if you like the interest of that. Last one I'll talk about is Duke Nukem 3D World Tour. So for ages this has been teased and rumoured that new Duke Nukem classic revivals coming out, like a remaster of the classic games are coming out. And it's just been announced now that you can, the 20th anniversary of Duke Nukem World, of Duke Nukem is now coming out for the World Tour. You can now pre-order it now, which I would not suggest doing. Because I have played Duke Nukem forever, and I'm very sceptical of
Gearbox are never pre-ordering from you
Duke
ever
Nukem
again.
Games. Yeah, I actually pre-ordered Duke Nukem Forever. So after playing the game, I actually played the game at the Gadget Show. There was a booth that I went into and
you still bought
Duke
it?
Nukem. Well, you get a very short segment of the game, like the first. You start off pissing into a sink in the game, and the demo. You just piss into a sink,
right?
Which is like classic Duke Nukem attitude.
Yeah.
But they changed most of the game. They were just like, what makes Duke Nukem Duke Nukem? He's like, oh, sometimes he'll say, I'm going to rip your head off and shit down your neck. And he's like, let's make the entire game that and take all the gameplay out and just have this really shitty, generic gameplay content and just make a game about parodying Duke Nukem. And then it wasn't a Duke Nukem game. Duke Nukem was a game where you had a really cool protagonist who all he cared about was just blowing shit up and getting babes. He wasn't too preoccupied with I don't know, all this other excess minigame shit that they try to shove into Duke Nukem Forever. I'm really annoyed by Duke Nukem Forever because I waited I played Duke Nukem was one of the first games I actually ever played as a kid. Was Doom and Duke Nukem, and I really loved ththose games. And I waited 10 or 12 years for the development of Duke Nukem Forever to actually come out, and it was one of the worst games I've ever played. And I played through the entire game. I know Jesse Cox, he was drunk when he played through it because it was so terrible he couldn't bear to stand Duke Nukem Forever. But if we're going to see, really good remasters running on modern systems, maybe some graphical updates, upscaling the texture resolutions of the old monsters, and we get to see the classic Duke Nukem where it's actually good. We might see a return of interest in Duke Nukem.
Maybe Gearbox don't pick it up.
People are going to be really because before Duke Nukem Forever came out, Duke Nukem was a name you could say and be people were Duke Nukem, and it's now it's Duke Nukem Forever.
Gearbox completely
that game
that.
Didn't exist.
Yeah. So maybe they can bring it back. Hang on. When was Duke Nukem Forever come? Was that 5 years ago? Wasn't it came out on an anniversary?
It's a while ago. It was
So I thought it came out on the 15th anniversary. So they've chosen another anniversary.
I'll look it up for you. But it was a while ago.
Yeah. Long while ago.
2011.
Okay. That would be his 15th anniversary then.
Yeah. Yeah, it came out in 2011.
Well, Gearbox, please don't.
It even had multiplayer on it.
Did it?
You probably don't know because I played it and it was awful. It was really everyone was Duke Nukem and you just walked around shooting each other. It was really bad. It was the most shoehorned, tied in multiplayer game mode I'd ever seen.
Back in the days of shoehorned multiplayer.
Back in the day when everyone was let's just staple generic multiplayer onto this.
I'm so glad that fad died out. There was no need for it. It just took development time away from what I actually wanted.
Mm. It was just so useless. Did you know, Bioshock 2 had a multiplayer mode on it?
Does it?
Yeah, it does.
What?
Like, not many people know about this sort of stuff because the Bioshock 2 one was kind of fun. Like, you had an interesting mechanic where you it was actually quite similar to what one of the Doom game modes.
Okay.
Like the multiplayer for Dooms is okay. Like I actually think that's.
I don't think it's necessarily
Sean
Hoon Lane. It's just not as good as it could have been.
Yeah, it's not as good as the single player was. No, I think I actually had a lot of fun on it. So it's because when I did I played the multiplayer beta, I actually said I had a lot of fun on it. It was really fun, and it was different from what we'd kind of seen before.
Yeah.
But one of the game modes on that was that you could get a demon rune and you become the massive demon and you could go around killing people. And you had this thing on Bioshock where you become the big daddy and you could kind of destroy people sort of thing. That was quite fun. But one problem was there was one gun, the elephant gun on it, which was like a one-shot, one-kill rifle, and it was completely imbalanced. Like, that gun completely destroyed the multiplayer scene for Bioshock from what I played.
But it
was interesting. Like... Yeah, I don't know if they did. I didn't play it for that long, but Bioshock, fantastic single player game, and it was around that era where you just had all these games coming out with kind of shoehorned on multiplayer that nobody really knew about because it was like everyone knew it was a single player game and they just kind of taped it on. I will say that the Bioshock 2 multiplayer wasn't that bad. It was okay, but it wasn't anything spectacular. So I'm gonna temper my excitement for this because it's classic Duke Nukem. It's not Duke Nukem Forever.
Rights are still owned by Gearbox. I still don't trust them. I mean,
because Gearbox hasn't released a version of Duke Nukem 3D since buying the franchise and finishing Duke Nukem Forever, and then they just bought this out of nowhere. Like, there was some rumors, and then it's just like Duke Nukem 20th Anniversary World Tour 3D. It was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, so this could be like a really half-assed remaster for all we know.
Well, it's priced at £15, which I think is a bit steep for what it is. Like, are they completely remastering the game, or are they just upscaling resolutions? It's coming out on like Steam and Xbox and PlayStation 4.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, let's hope it's good, but let's not get our hopes up.
The biggest question is, like, will keep borrowing lines from the 80s or 90s, or will they update him to new films and stuff? Like, Duke was classic because he made reference to the 19s and 80s, and it was like, oh yeah, he like Duke Nukem was like the pop culture action hero, and that was where he was really cool. And then they kind of tried to do that in Duke Nukem Forever, and it's like, this is really embarrassing. Stop, Gearbox, please. I think if they try and stay true to the source material of what Duke Nukem was originally, then they can do this all right. But we'll see. So yeah, that is the final topic, and we're on to our favourite topic of the podcast, which is Toby's wish list. Everyone's dying to see what anime clickbait Toby's put on his wish list.
Yeah.
So
only because they want to go and see the clickbait themselves.
I don't actually have Steam open, so I'm gonna have to.
Well, hey, look at my fantastic wish list without Steam open.
Hang on, I've got the web window open, so I can just click on here. And I actually have enhanced Steam, the Chrome add-on, so it's actually a lot easier to go through it on the website. I've just never done it before.
Okay.
Right, I've just opened Steam and it says Call of Duty XP 2016. What is this? I'm going to go off on a tangerine.
Okay. What is it? Enlighten me?
I don't know. Oh, I think it's a package of all the Call of Duty games, maybe, or it's like a sale or something. I don't know. If you like Call of Duty, look into that, but I won't get too distracted. As I open Steam and it randomly does shit, as it always does. Looks like they're having a sale on Steam or something.
I saw there's a...
Or do you get 2 Rage Burst?
Huh?
So I saw that. So my friend started playing this. I'm really interested by this because you can't actually buy the first game on Steam, can you? But when you buy the second game, you get the first one.
Wait, what are we talking about?
And God Eater 2 Rage Burst. Yeah. This is on your wish list.
Yeah, I just can't... It looks really interesting to me. I can't remember the first one, though.
because I looked through all the pictures and stuff, and it's a bunch of anime girls, and I was like, I can't see any of the gameplay in these screenshots.
No, they're all
so God Eater 2, it says, swear your oath as a God Eater and dive back the supernatural harbingers Earth destruction by God Eater Rage burst and get God Eater destruction for free. So, yeah, you can't actually buy the first one. You have to buy the second one, and then you get the first one. But it's kind of like this action anime RPG, JRPG thing.
It looks quite good as a JRPG, so that's why.
I know one of my friends was playing it. I saw he's playing it, and I know a couple of my friends want this, but I actually have no idea, like, what you do on the game.
No,
so can you enlighten me? Do you know?
I don't know too much, I'm afraid. I think you just kill big things because there might be gods. It's as far as my knowledge extends to.
You're just a God Eater.
Well, it says swear your oath to God Eater and dive back into spiritual harmony.
It looked kind of like a hack and slash, from what I'd say, but it doesn't have the hack and slash.
But the first image is like a massive hole for a building,
and it's co-op as well.
Yeah, it's got 87% positive reviews. So
yeah, people love weeb games on Steam anyway.
But only 546 reviews. There probably are just anime lovers doing this then.
I think it was I think it may have originally been a like console exclusive, like a lot of these like JRPGs and stuff are. And they moved it onto PC. Is it similar to like Final Fantasy with like a real-time action sort of thing?
I don't know. I could not tell you from any of the content shown to me.
So Toby, you answer me this question. Why is it on your wish list? You don't know anything about the game.
I want to buy it.
You want to buy it?
Is that why anything's on a wish list?
I think why do you want to buy it if you don't know anything about it? 'Cause the gameplay could be completely different from what you're seeing.
Well, I don't care. It's JRPG. How much different from JRPG can it be?
You love JRPGs so much.
I don't mind JRPG mechanics as long as they do it properly. And 87% of 546 reviews say it's good.
Right.
And I have heard of God Eater before, so not much knowledge on what's going on there.
Well, it's got co-op, it's got multiplayer, it's got controller support, which is very important. I'm not going to put this on my wish list.
Well, no, it's not your game at all. Anime and JRPG.
I don't think you should have this on your wish list. Just like you're on the line here. You're on the line here.
I don't understand the problem. What's wrong with my wish list?
Because you don't know enough about the game to say you want to purchase it.
Yeah, I'm not actually purchasing it. It's on my wish list.
Right, but usually your wish list would indicate that it's gonna tell you when like a sale's on, and then you can.
It does.
Buy the game.
Yeah.
Will you research the game when a sale goes on?
Probably, yeah.
Or that's the only what I do.
Yeah, before I buy a game, I tend to research stuff.
Well, I think you're on the line there. It's kind of okay to be on your wish list, but I don't agree with it myself.
Okay.
So. You've put Sudoku Ball Detective on your wish list after we talked about this last week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was I not meant to?
What's the final station? Do you want to read this for us?
The final station?
This looks really interesting, actually. It's got the trains tag. Because there's trains in it.
Isn't this
the final station? It's about trains.
I don't know, I just saw like a weird... It's like a weird survival scrolling game on a train, and it's really weird.
Yeah,
it says,
it looks really interesting.
Travel by train through a dying world. Look after your passengers. Keep your train operational and make sure you can always reach the next station. Make your way through swarms of infected at each station. Explore mysterious and abandoned stations looking for supplies and survivors. It's like an interesting take on zombie survival.
It looks like it's like a 2D side scroll on a train.
It looks like a resource management on a train. Just very interesting.
Wait, so you're kind of in a... Is it like a... I think it looks like a post-apocalyptic world where you live on a train.
Yeah.
And then when you get to train stations, you kind of scavenge for resources and fight zombies. And then you go on your train and that's like your hub world.
I think you pick up people as well. Like, I don't know if you use them for anything, but it says, like, make sure you keep your passengers alive.
Yeah, this looks like interesting. It's kind of like a arcadey... Is it called The Last of Us? Or This War of Mine is what I'm thinking of?
The War of Mine, yeah.
this war of mine is kind of where you have to try and keep these people alive while scavenging for resources. This looks a lot more Arcadian action based.
People are complaining it's a short game though for how much it costs, but
it's £11. Yeah,
it's not that much money though for what they're complaining about. But I mean, subjective, I guess. But I'm fine with that price point for how long people are complaining it is. So they're saying like 5 hours? So that's 7 hours, and they're saying it's too short.
Yeah, maybe you played a bit more though. Apparently, it gets quite repetitive, and the story was good until you left, and it has a bad ending.
Oh, okay. People really don't like bad endings, do they? I personally don't think it tarnishes. Well, it does tarnish the game, but not to the extent that some people think
if it's a storytelling game, like I think a huge point of like a game like this is it's going to be a story.
Yeah, but to me, it's the journey, not the ending. So even like if you feel like a book or something, I don't go, oh, this book was terrible because the ending was terrible.
Right, but I think the whole game is you're trying to get to the final station. You're trying to save these people. Okay. What happens when you get to the final station away from all the zombies?
Yeah,
that's quite important.
No, it seems to be. It seems to be important for
everyone.
everyone. The ending of things.
The zombies are kind of just like giant black outlines of humans.
That's really quite interesting, actually. Yeah, like the decay to just like a black outline.
The thing that interests me is like the art style of this game. Is really good looking. It's a really good looking game.
Lots of background 2D layers. It's quite nice.
And like the 2D side scrolling like shooting action stuff looks quite fun. I'm gonna put this on my wishlist, Toby.
Smoggy City looks really good though.
And I think this is good to put on your wishlist because you know more about this one. It's a lot easier to tell what it is.
Well, yeah, it's a simpler game than a JRPG. That's a massive beast, whereas this is just a 2D survival game.
But I like the look of this. I probably will. I'm not a big survival fan, so this is probably going to go like lower down on my wish list on my priority scales, like somewhere in the middle to the lower end. But yeah, I might pick this up on a sale if it goes cheap enough. So yeah, let's move on to your final wish list item, shall we?
Final anime BS.
Yeah. With the enhanced Steam add-on, it highlights things that are on my wish list as well, and it highlights like free-to-play games that you have on your wish list.
Oh, okay. I'll have to look into that then. I haven't used it.
It's quite useful for if you're browsing Steam in a web browser like Chrome. Oh, this is interesting. Let's click on this one. What is Highway Blossoms? Oh, okay. I know what Highway Blossoms is. Female protagonist visual novel anime. Okay. Highway Blossoms. The gold rush has struck the West for a second time. Highway Blossoms is the story of Amber, a girl trying her best to be alone on the road until she stumbles upon a young hitchhiker and the journal of a prospector from long ago.
Wait,
so what is this? So, Toby, go into the second screenshot and tell me what the woman on the left is wearing.
What was she wearing?
Yeah, what is that?
An open shirt?
She's just why is her shirt open with just her bra? I don't understand. Is that the plot?
Is she in a bikini?
That's part of the plot, I think, for these anime games.
I think that's the whole. Judging by the third image as well, I think it's the whole point of this visual novel.
Is there some romance going on? It's got my favourite tag on Steam at all, which is, of course, the genre of game known as female protagonist. I'm always looking for more games with a female protagonist because it really enhances my game experience.
I can confirm romance and nudity are 2 user tags on this.
Oh, good.
Great soundtrack, memes and cute are also there.
Oh, memes.
And America.
Toby, partial controller support. What does that mean?
What do you mean?
What does that mean, Steve?
Not everything works with the controller. Like, I bet menus don't work with controller? I don't know.
Partial controller support has to be like the vaguest fucking tag on Steam.
Maybe it means it doesn't use the analog sticks or something.
Okay. So, Toby, you know what I'm going to say about this game.
You don't need to say it, really. You chose it specifically for this, though, didn't you?
No, because it was a game that was called Highway Blossoms. Okay. Literally, the picture is just the word Highway Blossoms. It doesn't tell me anything about what the game is.
It has two women in it, and they're quite close.
No, not in the tag on your wish. On the wish list, it just says Highway Blossoms.
Okay.
It was just a game called Highway Blossoms. I thought maybe there's some trains or something in the desert, but no, anime BS, Toby. What did I expect? Right. Discord saying, do I want to sync my Steam account with all my friends? Fuck off. Not right.
Do you want to sync your Skype account?
Oh, yeah, I was trying to do that earlier, and I was like, no. I don't want to do anything with Steam, really. So we'll move on to the final thing, which is just the end of the podcast. So,
Danny Dyer.
Read the Danny Dyer tweet, which I chose an upbeat tweet, because, everyone's getting down about the EU and stuff. And, Danny's just going to put a prawn rin in. Iceland beat, England, and that was sad and stuff. But now he's got all you need is love. Love is all you need. Hashtag Beatles style.
He has at the start 2 note emojis and then 3 more after.
Yeah, he's got the note emojis, so he's singing it. So I'm probably supposed to sing it. All you need is love.
Love.
Love is all you need. Beatles style. Classic Danny. Thanks for lifting us up.
I like his current profile picture. He's just in a car, sunglasses on, listening to his iPod.
It's Danny Dyer style.
Danny Dyer.
All right. Well, that's the end of the podcast. Toby is Toby as always, or Tony as I always call him.
Yes.
If anyone doesn't know, his real name is Toby. I've exposed you.
Exposed. Totally exposed. He's a fake. Exposed. He's a fake. He's a fraud.
Yeah. I feel like at this point, the Tones at RT YouTube channel is going to have... it's just going to be Tones at RT face reveal exposed. That's going to be our main video whenever it comes out. But I've been Scorn Joe Brace. You can catch me on @Scorn2000 on Twitter, Scorn YouTube. I will do stuff there eventually. I'm just very lazy, and I like to play World of Warcraft and Overwatch. And you are, of course, watching this on the Inbetween podcast YouTube
Unless
channel.
Unless you're not, I don't know how you're doing that.
Unless you're not, and you've downloaded this and uploaded it to your Zune,
then fair enough.
You've got it on your Zune. But squeaky chair. I need to put the squeaky chair in the end, so Toby doesn't edit it out.
No, there's always a squeaky chair at the end. That is true.
Is this the Overwatch only podcast?
No.
We're just ending the podcast right now. Don't say anything. Say it now.
And we talk about Overwatch.
Get out of it.
It's literally doing the end of the podcast. It's the end.
I'm out.
You'll be on in 2 weeks. See ya. Okay. Yep. So that's the end of the podcast. As always, come back for more Peter Morgan.
And Overwatch next time, apparently.
An Overwatch only podcast.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.